Tonight, when you go to sleep, you are going to do something your ancestors would find absolutely insane. You are going to climb onto a raised platform, wrap yourself in processed fabric, rest your head on a bag of stuffing, and wonder why you cannot sleep properly. For 300,000 years, humans slept on the ground. No mattress, no pillow, no blanket. Just dirt and whatever they could find. And the science of why we stopped and what we lost when we did is genuinely one of the strangest stories in human history. Let us start with something that will immediately make you uncomfortable. Ancient humans who slept on the ground slept better than you do. Not a little better, significantly better, measurably better, in ways that modern sleep science is only beginning to understand. In 2015, researchers studied the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last groups on Earth still living the way all humans used to live. The Hadza sleep on the ground. No mattresses, no beds. No sleep aids, no melatonin gummies, no white noise machines. Researchers attached sleep monitors to Hadza participants and recorded their sleep patterns for weeks. What they found completely contradicted everything modern sleep science assumed about human sleep. The Hadza fell asleep faster than any modern population ever recorded. They woke up fewer times during the night, and they reported almost zero instances of what we would call insomnia, a population sleeping on dirt, with no sleep technology whatsoever, outperforming every modern population on every single sleep metric measured. So, the question is not why did ancient humans sleep on the ground? The question is what happened to us? And the answer starts about 10,000 years ago. Before 10,000 years ago, every human on Earth was a hunter-gatherer, moving constantly, following food, never staying anywhere long enough to build permanent structures. When you are moving constantly, you cannot carry a mattress. You cannot carry a bed frame. You cannot carry a pillow. You carry what keeps you alive: food, water, tools, fire. So when night came, you found the best available spot, cleared it of rocks, maybe gathered some leaves or grass, and you lay down. And here is the first thing that surprises researchers. That spot, that simple cleared patch of ground, actually provided something that modern mattresses do not. The ground is firm, consistently firm, every single night. Your spine knows exactly what to expect. Modern mattresses, especially the very soft ones, actually allow your spine to fall into unnatural positions that it holds for hours while you sleep. Which is why so many people wake up with back pain despite sleeping on expensive mattresses. Your ancestors never had this problem. Not because they were tougher, because the ground never let their spine forget where it was supposed to be. But the ground was not the only thing they were sleeping on, because here is something that archaeologists discovered that completely changed our understanding of ancient sleep. In 2020, scientists excavating a site in South Africa called Border Cave found something extraordinary. They found the remains of ancient grass beds, deliberately constructed sleeping surfaces, dating back 200,000 years. 200,000 years ago, your ancestors were not just lying on dirt. They were making beds. Simple beds, but beds. And here is what makes this discovery genuinely remarkable. The grass they chose was not random. They specifically chose grasses and plants known to have insect-repelling properties. They were not just making a bed. They were making a pest-free bed. 200,000 years ago, humans were already engineering their sleep environment, selecting materials, solving problems, optimizing for comfort and safety simultaneously. They also found evidence that these beds were regularly burned and replaced. Ancient humans were cleaning their sleeping areas, killing parasites with fire, starting fresh, which means the image of ancient humans just collapsing anywhere on the bare ground and passing out is completely wrong. Ancient humans thought carefully about where and how they slept. They had a sleep practice. Just like you have a bedtime routine, they had one too. Now, let us talk about where they slept. Because location was everything. Fire was the center of everything. Every sleeping arrangement organized itself around the fire. Not too close, you would overheat and risk rolling into the flames. Not too far, you would be outside the circle of safety and something would eat you. There was a specific optimal distance from the fire that maximized both warmth and safety. Researchers have calculated it. Roughly 10 to 15 feet, and the group slept in a specific arrangement. Strongest individuals on the outside of the sleeping group. Most vulnerable in the center. Children and elderly protected in the middle. This was not random. This was a system. A sleep security system that every group member understood and followed every single night. And not everyone slept at the same time. Someone was always partially awake, monitoring, listening, ready. Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer groups have found that at any given moment during the night, someone in the group is in lighter sleep, naturally, without planning it. The group's collective sleep created a natural rotating watch. No one assigned to stay awake, no schedule, just biology distributing alertness across the group automatically. You sleep alone or with one other person. Which means this system does not work for you. Which means your sleep is missing something it was designed to have. Now let us talk about something that will make you look at your bedroom ceiling very differently tonight. You were not designed to sleep in one continuous 8-hour block. Nobody was. For most of human history, humans slept in two separate phases, with a period of first sleep and second sleep. Before the industrial age, people did not sleep in one block. They went to sleep shortly after sunset, slept 4 hours, then woke up. They stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night, then went back to sleep for another 4 hours, until dawn. This was not insomnia. This was not a sleep disorder. This was just how humans slept, for most of human history, on every continent, in every culture. And what did people do during that 1 to 2 hour wakeful period in the middle of the night? Everything. A 16th century French physician recommended couples use this window. People visited neighbors. They interpreted their dreams while still fresh. A doctor's manual from the 1500s advised patients that the best time to study and reflect was during the watch. The quiet hours between first and second sleep, when the mind was calm and the world was still, and the thoughts came clearly in a way they never did during the busy daytime hours. Then, in 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment that confirmed everything history had been saying. He took volunteers and removed all artificial light from their lives. For 1 month, they experienced 14 hours of darkness every night. Within weeks, every single participant settled into the same pattern without being told to. 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, then 4 more hours of sleep. Nobody told them to do this. Nobody suggested it. Their bodies just did it, as if some ancient program had been waiting inside them the whole time. Ware measured their hormone levels during the wakeful period and found something that nobody expected. During the wakeful period, their brains were producing elevated levels of prolactin. Prolactin is the same hormone released during meditation and after orgasm. It creates a state of deep calm, deep peace. Unlike any normal waking state, the participants described the wakeful period as peaceful, reflective, almost meditative, a state most modern humans have never experienced. It was not just a gap in sleep. It was its own distinct state of human consciousness, one that we eliminated without knowing it existed. So, what killed it? What eliminated this state of consciousness that humans had experienced every single night for 300,000 years? Light. Artificial light. That is the entire answer. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps. Paris, under Louis XIV, then London. The night slowly became navigable, then cheaper candles, then gas lamps in the 1800s. Then, in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric light bulb. And within a generation after Edison's light bulb, the two-sleep pattern that humans had followed for 300,000 years was gone. Because artificial light tricks your brain, your body cannot tell the difference between a light bulb and the sun. When light hits your retina at 11 p.m., your brain interprets it as daytime. It suppresses melatonin. It delays sleep. It pushes your entire sleep cycle hours later. And blue light, the specific type of light that screens produce, is the worst possible type of light for your sleep biology. Your phone screen at night is not just keeping you awake. It is actively resetting your biological clock to a later time zone every single night. Researchers found that people who go camping for just 1 week with no artificial light have their melatonin cycles reset by nearly 2 hours. 1 week. That is all it takes for 300,000 years of programming to reassert itself. Which means the version of you that sleeps well, the version of you that your body was designed to be, is not very far away. But here is something nobody tells you about your sleep problems. The thing that might genuinely change how you think about waking up at 2 a.m. If you wake up at 2 a.m. and cannot get back to sleep immediately, your doctor calls that insomnia. Modern medicine treats it as a disorder, something broken, something to fix. But what if it is not broken at all? What if waking up at 2 a.m. is your body doing exactly what it was designed to do, perfectly, for 300,000 years? The anxiety you feel when you wake at 2 a.m., the panic about not sleeping that is not part of the ancient experience. That anxiety is entirely modern, entirely learned. Your ancestor who woke at the same hour did not panic. They did not grab their phone. They did not calculate how many hours of sleep they had left. They simply existed in the quiet. They reflected. They thought about their day. Their dreams were still fresh, and they sat with them. And then, after an hour or two, they drifted back into the second sleep. No sleep aid required. No melatonin. No white noise. Just the ancient rhythm doing what it always did. Now here is the part that connects everything together. The ground, the group, the fire, the two sleeps. They were not separate things. They were one integrated sleep system, built over hundreds of thousands of years, each part supporting every other part. And modern humans have dismantled every single piece of that system, simultaneously, in about 100 years. And we replaced it with a system that has existed for less than 100 years and that our biology has had zero time to adapt to. And then we wonder why we cannot sleep, and why we wake at 2 a.m., and why we feel exhausted despite 8 hours in bed, and why sleep disorders are at epidemic levels in every developed nation on Earth. We did not just change how we sleep. We broke something, and we are only now beginning to understand what we broke and why it matters. So what do you do with this information? Because knowing this is interesting, but knowing what to do with it is useful. First, the ground sleeping thing. You do not need to throw away your mattress. But if you consistently wake up with back pain, your mattress might be too soft. Your spine is spending 8 hours in a position it was never designed to hold. Second, the 2 a.m. thing. If you wake up at 2 a.m., do not immediately reach for your phone. Do not turn on a light. Do not start calculating sleep hours lost. Instead, lie in the dark. Let your body do what it was designed to do. Exist in that ancient, peaceful state. Reflect. Think. Let the thoughts come. You are not broken at 2 a.m. You are ancient. Your body remembers something your bedroom forgot. Third, the light thing. The single highest impact change you can make to your sleep biology tonight requires no money and takes 30 seconds. Put your phone face down 1 hour before you want to sleep. That is it. That single action starts allowing your melatonin to rise naturally. Your ancient programming will start reasserting itself almost immediately, because it never went anywhere. It was just waiting under the artificial light the whole time. You are not fighting against your biology when you try to sleep better. You are trying to get back to it. Your ancestors did not try to sleep well. They just removed the obstacles, and their biology did the rest. The obstacles now are light at the wrong time, soft surfaces that misalign your spine, sleeping alone when your biology expects group proximity, and a culture that treats waking at 2 a.m. as a failure. None of these obstacles existed for 300,000 years. All of them appeared in the last 100. And all of them are removable. Tonight when you go to bed, you are carrying 300,000 years of sleep programming inside you. Programming refined by hundreds of thousands of generations of humans who figured out how to sleep safely in a dangerous world. They slept through predator attacks, through storms, through cold that should have killed them, through everything the world threw at them, and they passed that resilience forward to you. The biology they developed is inside you right now, waiting. The same programs, the same rhythms, the same capacity for deep restorative sleep that they had. You are not broken. You are ancient. And ancient things work when you let them. Your ancestors slept on the ground, in groups, around fires, in two separate phases, with a window of peaceful consciousness in between that most modern humans have never experienced. And they woke up, rested, ready. Alive in a way that modern humans sleeping on memory foam in climate-controlled rooms often are not. We traded all of that for a mattress and a light switch. And most of us never even knew there was a trade happening. Tonight when you go to sleep, remember that your body knows exactly what it is doing, even when your mind is not so sure. And if you wake up at 2 a.m., do not panic. Just lie there in the dark. Your ancestors did it every single night for 300,000 years, and they were fine. The ground is still there if you need it. The darkness is still there if you allow it. And the ancient rhythm is still there inside you, waiting. You do not have to sleep on the ground to sleep like your ancestors. You just have to stop fighting what your body already knows. 300,000 years of sleep science, built into your biology. Free, available, tonight. Good night. And if you wake up at 2 a.m., good morning. You are exactly where your biology wants you to be.